Manchester United fans, this breaking news is for you.
Never ever a quiet day at Manchester United. Questions will be raised because I was also told by sources close to the departings that he actually felt that he was left out of a lot of key decision making, that some of his suggestions about collaborative working and how the culture of the club could be improved, that was ignored. And it was actually quite striking of Ruben Amorim, who head coach. So it's clear from both sides that it just wasn't working well. And I suppose United will say they have taken a speedy decision instead of letting things just run on and muddle away.
I cannot believe how bad they've been and how stubborn he has been as a manager. Like, I get it. At Sporting, he done really well. He played a system. He had the players that worked. But, you come into Man United, you come into the Premier League, it is a completely different ball game. And I just think he's out of his depth. He is out of his depth. It was too big of a step for him. It's too big of a job. And he's crumbled. And when I watch him, the formation, I just don't get it. He hasn't got it for the players, the midfield. He got no legs. You're trying to play Bruno in there, it don't work. But just the way he is as a manager as well is so emotional. He can't watch penalties. He sits in the dugout. He hides. He stands on the side of the pitch, and I'm not convinced that he really knows what he's doing. It's been such a poor appointment for Man United, and the quicker they get rid of him, the quicker they're going to get better, because I don't actually believe that Man United are that bad. I think they've got some good players, but the formation they're playing does not suit any of the players that want to play in that formation.
Our poll today on the Sky Sport.
The point of Ruben Amorim's year in charge at Manchester United. So has he improved them, and where do they go from here? Marks out of 10 then for that man's first year in charge.
I don't think that they have improved. I'm sorry.
At all?
Yeah, where? Where have they improved? They have not scored more goals. They have not had less goals against. They have not won any trophies. Yes, they have been in a final in Europe, but lost against a poor side.
You told us you love Tottenham earlier.
I love Tottenham. Yeah, I love Tottenham, but they were a poor side last year. So he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of work. I don't think that they are creative enough, not like they used to be.
Apart from that, he's done fine.
Yeah.
You've done probably, Dave, a lot of numbers pieces, stats, features at that screen about Manchester United. Would the numbers overall say that he has improved things?
Marginally. I think they have improved slightly going forward in attack, but they've spent over £100 million in the summer, so you kind of expect that. That's fine.
He's on the bench.
Well, one of them is, yeah. Defensively, I think there's still improvement there, and I think that's shown in a number of matches this season where they've struggled to keep the ball out of their own net, and it's been fairly easy for teams to play through them. I think that's a problem. But I'm reasonably optimistic about Manchester United this season. That's not me saying top 4, top 8, and I think top 8 is an amazing achievement from where United were last season if they get top 8 this season.
You're looking startled, Jimmy.
Don't get me wrong, it's not good enough for the history of Manchester United, but from where they were and the job, I think that is about
also for what they have spent. You think that is fine, that is okay?
Well, that from what they spent, yeah, I think it's all right. They should have brought a central midfielder, and maybe a centre back, maybe another wing back, but they haven't got all that money, have they?
Ruben Amorim feels like the first manager who I've seen who sticks with a system rather than an idea of how to play. So, I'll use you, Roberto, as a reference. I always know how your teams will play with the ball. That's your idea. The formation might change, but Ruben Amorim, it's like, I've said this before, the formation's his baby. And to not change it or alter it in situations like that, I don't understand how you can stick with something so steadfastly in a situation like that when it's basically, one guy up front who's not really up front. You don't need 3 players there. If you're going to keep with your system, maybe put midfield players there. You know, we see other managers do that. Maybe you bring a centre-back off and put a midfield player there because you're going to have so much more of the ball, so much more of possession. So I actually think it's not the losing the 3 points tonight. They can make that up through the season. I think it's one of those moments where I think a lot of people will really question the manager on the back of that defeat. They'll look at the players, and we know the players should do better, but the manager will take a lot of the blame.
Well, as you can see, Kavi Solokol has joined us on set, which means that this story has moved forward. Kavi, what is the latest breaking news with this?
In a stunning twist that has left fans, players, pundits, and even rival clubs in disbelief, Ruben Amorim has reportedly walked away from the club after a tense, emotionally charged late-night board meeting. What unfolded behind those closed doors has instantly become one of the most shocking chapters in the club's modern history. Sources close to the situation claim the meeting, which was expected to address internal concerns surrounding recent performances, quickly escalated into a heated confrontation. Voices were raised, frustrations spilled over, and years of mounting pressure finally collided with unresolved disagreements. By the end of the night, Amorim, once seen as the beacon of the club's future, made the shocking decision to resign on the spot. Rumors suggest the manager felt increasingly isolated and blindsided by what he perceived as a lack of support from the board. Tensions had reportedly been rising behind the scenes for weeks, fueled by disagreements over transfers, long-term planning, and the direction of the club's project. While none of the parties have officially detailed what triggered the breaking point, the emotional intensity of the meeting appears to have pushed Amorim past the limit. Players were reportedly informed in the early hours of the morning, leaving the squad stunned and scrambling to understand the sudden collapse of a project many had believed in. Several players are said to have expressed frustration and confusion, questioning how relationships at the top deteriorated so rapidly. Fans around the globe woke up to the bombshell resignation, flooding social media with disbelief, anger, and speculation. Supporters who once viewed Amorim as a transformative figure are now demanding answers from the club's leadership, calling for transparency and accountability as the crisis deepens. Meanwhile, the board is reportedly in emergency mode, meeting through the morning as they attempt to assess the fallout and plan their next steps. The search for an interim manager has already begun, though insiders warn that the club may face significant instability in the weeks ahead. This sudden departure threatens to reshape everything from squad morale to upcoming transfer plans, to the long-term direction of the club's identity. Analysts predict that the ripple effects of Amorim's exit will be felt far beyond the manager's office, potentially impacting the club's competitive standing and influence in the football world. As the story continues to unfold, more revelations are expected to emerge about the explosive meeting, the internal fractures that led to this dramatic exit, and the uncertain road ahead. For now, the club finds itself in uncharted territory, with a fan base demanding clarity and a future hanging in the balance.